and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bliss. Today we're going to do a video about collaging our journals. So if you're a big time journaler like me and you're also very creative, you love the artwork of collage, you have lots of fun stickers or magazine cutouts that you want something to do with, this is a great craft idea, and it really is special to me because it personalizes my journal, which is a very big part of my life and my morning routine. So I want to give you a couple examples of the ones that I've done in the past. I will say this idea came not from my brain necessarily, but I was inspired by a craft that I did while I was inpatient in the hospital. Full disclaimer, I have bipolar disorder type 1, and a few months back I had an episode of mania, so I was in the hospital for a little while, and the arts and crafts type things that we did was one way of me coping with such a drastic change in my life. So this first example is from the hospital. It is mostly stickers, and it has a couple different types of like fancy duct tape on it for the fun colors, but this is the first example of the journal that I created while I was in the hospital. It says ideas here. This is obviously an upside down V because we had used all the A's, but this is not really super my personal style. This is mostly what was available at the time. And while I love it as my first rendition of a journal that I customized myself, I am actually a lot more excited to show the other two that I created. So this next one is one that I created once I was out of the hospital with my own stickers and cutouts and stuff that I had at my disposal. I will say one of my favorite sources for my stickers is Lace and Whimsy Studio. They have this thing called Whimsy Mail that I just resubscribed to because I'm super excited to continue doing little like collages like this, and I love their stickers. So it is a monthly sticker subscription where they send you a few different sheets of stickers each month in the mail, and in addition to that they have the cutest little decorated envelopes that they put them in, and it's so fun because you can actually like take the stickers off the envelopes. They actually peel off pretty easily, which is one thing I like about the quality of the stickers, and you can like re-stick them to other things, which I have done in both of my most recent two journals. So I'll show you this one. So this is my second one that I created with the stickers and washi tape, and I don't know if any of them are cutouts. I think they're all stickers, but I think I have cutouts in my most recent. So this is a lot more my style. Some of the stuff I had to retape down, but that doesn't mean that has nothing to do with the quality of the stickers from Lace and Whimsy Studio. These are the parts that I peeled off of the actual envelope, so I just had to kind of reinforce it here so that it doesn't peel off. But then my most recent journal, I actually filmed the making of the cover, and I want to give you guys that footage as maybe a little bit of inspiration for your next craft night, or just as a fun little video to watch in the background. But I will reveal that to you at the end so that you'll get a full behind the scenes process of how I created that journal cover. So while you watch this footage of me doing my latest collage notebook cover, I thought it would be fun if we sat down and chatted a little bit about journaling and how my journaling practice has really helped me to get to know myself, to feel more at ease in my life, to express myself on paper, and has really just given me an avenue of self-expression and allowed me to really just process a lot of things that were going on in my life. And kind of what my journaling techniques are. If you want to start your own journaling practice, I think it would be a great idea, especially if you don't currently journal, to maybe invest in your own little cheapo journal from the dollar store or from Walmart or wherever you get your stationery needs met, and just come along with me and customize it to your own liking with collage cutouts and stickers and maybe like washi tape, some really fun and colorful stuff. Make it like super personal for yourself, and then really start your journaling journey. That's what we'll call it. So there are tons of things that I journal about. But I think one thing that a lot of people recommend is actually not my favorite type of journaling method, but it is something that I do on a fairly regular basis. It is not something that I necessarily do daily, though it is something that I aim to do daily, and that is something you may have heard of from the artist way called morning pages. And morning pages are very simple and straightforward way of journaling, but it is not always the easiest or the most pleasant or the most fun way of journaling. The artist way talks about morning pages as a means of kind of dumping out all of your thoughts and processing a little bit of everything that is on your mind when you wake up first thing in the morning, so that you'll make room for more creative inspiration and make room for more creative expression, because you won't be so stuck in the loop of the thoughts that are in your head that you have just kind of like purged onto the paper. So morning pages are 3 pages each morning that you write freehand nonstop, and it is just stream of conscious type journaling. It's not necessarily any journal prompt. It's really just writing what is going through your mind at the time and continuing to write that until you have 3 pages full of journaling and doing it nonstop. So this is something that I do fairly regularly, and I will say that I usually start off the journaling session, the morning pages, with the words, "Today is going to be a great day." And then I'll generally say something like, "Today is Tuesday. Today I will do XYZ," and generally I start off with the other activities that I want to get done for my morning routine. So I'll be talking about, today I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to do EFT tapping. I'm going to take a shower, brush my teeth, have breakfast, get ready for the day, and today's going to be a great day. Obviously, you don't have to follow my lead and do it my way, but this is just kind of how I do it. I'll talk about the day ahead and what I have planned. I'll talk about sometimes things that are at the forefront of my mind that I need to do for the day, or that I need to do in general, maybe for the week, things that have been bothering me that I've been putting off. I'll talk about like worries or ideas that I have, things going on currently in my life. Obviously, you can write whatever you want, whatever's the first top of your mind. You can write gratitude journaling. You can write out just the same sentence over and over again until you can continue and figure out something else to write. Obviously, stream of consciousness writing is very simple in description, but it's easier said than done a lot of times. So if you ever get stuck, you can just continue writing the same sentence until you figure out something else to write. And one thing about morning pages, I don't always write 3 full pages. Sometimes I'll write 2 pages, sometimes I'll write 1 page, sometimes I will write less than 1 page, and then I will feel a little bit embarrassed, but then I'll give up anyway, and you know what? It's not the end of the world. But I do feel a little guilty after only writing 1 page, but it's whatever. Do your thing. Do whatever you want to do. Other things I journal about, I make a lot of lists about things that I have ideas for, or just lists that pop into my mind. I will do little journaling prompts about what I think about this, what I think about that. One thing I like doing recently that I just started doing a lot of is mind maps. So if you think of it kind of as like the brainstorming method that we learned as kids, where you put the main idea, write it in the middle of the sheet of paper, put a circle around it, and then put little like different ideas that you have and write them into circles and connect them and make different connections from those ideas to other smaller ideas, etc., etc. That's something I really like to do. It's one way that I can get my big ideas out on paper and really break them down into smaller chunks and different subjects that correlate with them, so that I can just kind of like process my thoughts, my ideas a little better. Speaking of ideas, I write down a lot of ideas in my journals for, let's say, for like podcast episodes or for videos that I'd like to do, craft projects or creative projects that I have in mind, just to-do lists possibly. I do a lot of brain dumps, which is, at least in this form, it is where you write a brain dump list of everything that you have to do for the week, or that you have to do that you haven't done yet, or that you need to do at some point in the near or not so distant future. And that is one thing I'll do at the beginning of the week to plan out my week, so that I have everything in mind all on one page, and it's not just living in my head of all the things that need to be done and taken care of, so that I can delegate them to different days of the week and schedule the tasks according to my energy level, according to the other tasks that I have scheduled for myself for the day. And it's a really good way of planning the week. One thing, this is kind of silly, that I journaled on recently that was very therapeutic, but it was also kind of silly and maybe a little bit mean. I went through a breakup several months back, and it was kind of a rough breakup because I really thought he was the one, and I was really taken aback and hurt by it. I'm getting over it, but recently I wrote a list because I had been thinking about like all the different things that he had done to, not to hurt me, but that hurt me, and the different things that really bothered me about him. So I wrote a list of why my ex is an asshole, and I'm not gonna do anything with the list. I'm not gonna mail it. I'm not gonna put it on the internet or send it to all my friends, but it is a very therapeutic way of saying like, okay, so this wasn't a perfect relationship. He was not a perfect guy. There are things that he has that are not the best, and that are like actions that he's taken that have hurt me or made me feel uncomfortable. And now I have a list of them, so I can refer to them anytime that I feel a little bit sad about not being with him anymore. One other journal prompt that I recently heard about that I like to do, I've done it a couple times, but I really have only heard about it very recently, is writing a list of what ifs and making all the what ifs like really positive outcomes. So like, what if I was gifted $1 million? What if I was gifted a new car? What if I found my dream home and it costs less than my rent now? What if this? What if that? What if all the positive things in the world happened to me? And this is a way of getting into a more positive mindset, a mindset that's more open to experiencing surprises and delights from the universe, and really just a way of imagining the best for ourselves, which can really have a lot of positive effects. Another thing that I have been doing lately that I have enjoyed doing, it's a brand new thing that I've been putting in my journal recently, but I've been making a lot of Venn diagrams, and several Venn diagrams that are based on the goals or the overarching goals that I have. So I will write a different goal in, I'll do like 3 circles that are conjunct, and I will write a different goal in each circle, and then where each circle overlaps, I will write an action that I can take either daily or regularly that works towards both of those goals. So for example, one of my goals is to be more responsible with money, and another one of my goals is to be healthier, have a healthier relationship with food, and weigh less, or to lose weight. And one action that I can take that works towards both of those is to meal prep. I would say another one of my goals is to work on my coaching business, which is in its very infancy stage, but one thing that I can do that is working towards my coaching business, but is also working towards my healthier weight, is to listen to coaching courses or coaching course modules while I go on walks. So that's a really simple way of fulfilling 2 goals with one action, or as I like to say, feeding 2 birds with 1 scone. And another one I have is working towards my coaching business and being more responsible with money, is that I can do EFT tapping, which is subconscious reprogramming using tapping on acupressure points, or I can do shadow work based on worthiness. So my worthiness value, or the amount of worthiness I feel, can lend itself towards both working in my coaching business and making progress with that, and also being more responsible with money because I feel more worthy of having large sums of money. Another journaling prompt that I do, or journaling exercise that I do, is when I pull tarot cards or oracle cards, sometimes I will journal on them. Obviously this isn't going to be for everyone if you don't ever do any tarot or oracle card readings, but it is one way where I can kind of go in depth about how each card relates to my current life and how I feel like it relates in the reading. And it's just a way of processing the reading a little bit more deeply rather than just reading them and then going about your day. It helps you remember the meaning of the cards and the reading itself a lot more easily. Sometimes I will journal on all of the things that I want, or I will do scripting, which is a manifestation method where you write out in present tense as if you have manifested your desires. So I would write something like, I woke up today and it's such a beautiful day. I love my oceanfront view. I went to the store in my brand new car, my hot pink Jeep, and then I came home and worked on my coaching business, worked on courses, answered emails, etc. And I with the love of my life, etc., etc. So present tense scripting, as if all of your manifestations and your dreams have come true. And this helps you get into the mindset of your manifestations and helps you to manifest a lot faster. I also write to-do lists, which I don't write so often because I use the Todoist app, which I really enjoy, but a lot of times I will have like a project that I am working towards, and so if I have a project I'm working towards and I need to figure out how to do it, I will write down all of the incremental steps and things that I need to do to get that done and kind of plan it out longhand so that it doesn't just look like one big project. I really break it down into baby steps and make it a lot easier and a lot more approachable. I'll write short-term and long-term goals, including weekly goals. I'll plan out projects and break them down into different aspects of the project and then journal on each aspect, oftentimes with bullet points, but sometimes freehand. I really just write whatever the hell I want, and I write a lot of whatever the hell I want. Sometimes I will also listen into my intuition in the morning. I'll do like a meditation or a breathwork session, and then at the end ask my intuition what it has to tell me or what messages it has for me, and then I will listen closely. And then once I'm out of the meditation or the breathwork session, I will journal on the insights that I got from my intuition, and that's always very insightful. So I really do recommend you starting your journal journey. If you haven't already, going out and getting your own journal. You can buy a cutesy one, but I recommend getting a basic one and then doing collage cover. Obviously, it's something I really enjoy because you're watching me do it, but I really do recommend you starting a journal journey if you haven't already. It really is very therapeutic. It is a way of getting all of your ideas and your thoughts down on paper and processing them, working through them, and really getting to know yourself on a new level, which is something that anyone and everyone can benefit from. There is no rules to how you journal. A lot of people think that journaling is just at the end of the day writing out what happened for the day. It is not a log or a daily diary unless you want it to be. There are unlimited ways of journaling and unlimited ways of enjoying journaling, and there are so many prompts out there to get you started. If you have no idea what to journal about, I would recommend starting either with morning pages or finding journal prompts that you enjoy. You can always write an ongoing list of journal prompts that you want to answer or journal over, and keep that either tucked away in a pocket in the back of your journal or on your notes app, or just keep an ongoing list in the front or the back of your journal of all the journal prompts that you want to do. I love journal prompts because it helps me to write freehand on a subject that I maybe hadn't thought about for a while or ever, and it really helps me to get a start on what I want to journal on for the day. So I really hope you enjoyed this little chat. I will check back in with you, and let's see how my journal cover turned out. So, you ready for the reveal? My most latest journal cover. I'm really proud of this one. I used a lot of the Lace and Whimsy stickers. I have stickers from elsewhere, washi tape, I have cutouts, and I even used trash So I'll point it out here. So this here is part of a little postcard piece that came with the Lace and Whimsy studio mail, and then this here, this little square, is actually trash from it's packaging from a digital camera I bought at Urban Outfitters a while back. And then I have a couple different things here that I cut out of a collage book. It is a vision board collage book, so it has a lot of things that correspond with what people might put on their vision boards. And I have a couple little gem stickers here that are like 3D. So, but I really like this journal because instead of just taping it all to the front and hoping that it stays intact and doesn't like rub up against something or tears, it comes out, and look how shiny that is. It's a little more matte under the plastic, but it is an insert. So technically, if I wanted to just continue buying this type of journal for my own journals, I could probably just take this insert out and reinsert it, but that would be less fun. It's really exciting for me to, once I finish a journal, which it doesn't take me too long to finish a journal these days, to, instead of going out and trying to find the cutest journal cover and having to spend extra money on something that's cutesy and not so basic, I get to purchase just a basic journal for a lot cheaper and then customize it myself to my own liking, which is always very exciting. I also got a sticker book from Amazon that I'm really excited to dive into, and I think next month I might do, not next month if I finish this in a month, but next time I do my journal cover, I'm going to use some of those stickers. And then I'm so excited for my Lace and Whimsy, my Whimsy mail to come in the mail so I can get more cutesy stickers. She always has the cutest variety. And yeah, if you have any questions about the process or you have any other great craft ideas, leave it in the comment below. Let me know how you liked this video. Make sure to give it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. I also talk about spirituality, self-development, intuition, and personal growth. So if those are the type of things that are your cup of tea, sit down, let's have tea, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.